All right, today I want to start on this power steering project on my bus. I guess I should say it's a continuation of earlier power steering stuff that we did on the channel here. There is a howl from my power steering. I've talked to a couple of old timers that have these buses and got some advice on what to do about that issue. And there's also a leak. One of the things I'm trying to do with this channel is preserve information. There's a lot of people that have owned these buses for 20, 30 years. They've done a lot of work on them. They've replaced engines, transmissions, installed power steering. They've done complete conversions themselves. And there's a lot of two-stroke mechanics that are retired now. And you know, some of the information, the tips and tricks and knowledge is just hard to come by. And so when people share that information with me, I like to, pass that along however I can, preserve it, and, store it on the channel. Because a whole bunch of us that are getting into these buses are younger guys. You know, I'm in my early 50s, and that ain't that young, but, there's a lot of people interested in these buses, and they don't know quite what they're getting into, or we need to have a resource for information and stuff like that when, things go wrong or you need to fix stuff, what the story is. So this is one of those examples. There's a gentleman that I met down at Quartzsite. I'm not going to name him here, but he's in his 80s and he's got a really nice 4106. Actually, it's been videoed on my channel. And he talked about the power steering reservoir and showed me what was wrong with this. And basically, one of the reasons why it's howling is the fact that it's gravity fed out of the reservoir into the power steering pump, and mine is not configured correctly to give it a good solid gravity feed. That's problem number one. Problem number two, there's been a mystery leak. Thought it was the compressor. One of my regular subscribers, John Matthews, he's got a great channel. He does a lot of really informative stuff on his 4106. He's got a video on there of working on his power steering pump. He even posted some of the diagrams from the manual about how this thing is, pictures of the manual inside that I don't have. Gave me some pointers on this on my channel, to be able to fix that leak. So that's the second issue I'm going to address in this project. So two things, make it feed properly, gravity feed as best as possible, and also fix the leak. All right, so I'm getting set up to tackle this here. So we believe that is the culprit for the leak there. That cotter pin's got to come out of there, get driven out. Underneath that, there's an O-ring and a valve, a pressure relief valve with a spring. So when I drive that cotter pin out of there, I got to be careful that that all doesn't just come flying out of there. So the gravity feed issue, there's my power steering reservoir there, and my hose is just kind of snaking around there. There's not much of a drop between that, which is the output from the reservoir, into that. But basically, I'm going to take this fitting off, stick it into this, let it drain, because all that oil's got to come out of there, and then I'm going to shorten up that hose. Now, one of the old timers that's had one of these buses for 30 years that converted it himself, he modified that drain so that it was much larger. He put a 1-inch hose on that, larger fitting. So he welded that, brazed it up, put on a new fitting so that it drains much better. I'm not going to do that because I don't trust my welding skills that much. I'd probably screw the whole thing up, screw up the reservoir, blow holes in it, and everything else. So what I'm going to do is put the shorter hose on and hope that that solves that problem. And this pressure relief valve, this O-ring behind here is probably shot, and that's what's leaking, dripping down onto everything below it. So we will we'll see here. That's on there tight. Should have wiped that off. That's so nasty. I don't think I'll be reusing this oil. I got plenty more. Yeah, this is going to be blocking my gravity feed here. I got to do something about that. I'll just raise it above the reservoir and try and... Well, that's a hard line there. Shit. Boy, that doesn't feed very good, does it? That's 30 weight. Oh, son of a bitch. That's dripping under there too. That's not going to drain fully the way I got that in there. I'll let it finish that and I'll move it better. Come on, get in there. Oh, shit. I gotta move the whole works over here without spilling it if possible. Let's see. Let's see what's sitting there. Yeah. Oil can gymnastics here. This has got to come off. I safetied that there to hold it so I wouldn't have to, but now I got to move it. Okay, so now put it over here. Just for giggles. Probably on the other side of that would be smarter. See if I can move it. Let's see here. This one's to fall, which would not be good. See if I can get that to stay in a good spot. There we go. Amazing how much oil that reservoir holds. Yeah, this thing keeps back feeding. I gotta cap that or something. So you can see that blue fitting there that's taped up. That's the input to the power steering pump. I just taped that up to keep it from siphoning out. It was kind of just dribbling all over. It's going to be next to impossible to get a hose that short because the fittings on here are like 2 inches long. You know, at least these screw-on type. Maybe, you know, I can go to the hydraulic hose store and see if they can make me something shorter and more flexible. But yeah, you know, if I put that other fitting up in here, it's going to be like that long. So we can make this, you know, it's going to be too long to make that bend. So I'm going to go ahead and punch that relief valve out of there. So this is the part that I need to get into here. I guess I need to clean this up first. I don't want that crap going in the pump. There's a bunch of yucky stuff there. I'll get that out. So this pin's, I get this all cleaned out. This pin's moving pretty easy. I'm a little concerned. It looks like it might be split in the middle. So I want to see if I can get a clamp or something over the top of this to hold it so it doesn't all just come flying out on me. I don't know how much pressure that spring's got on it behind it, but it's a 1500 PSI relief valve, so it might have some pressure on it. Okay, I got a C-clamp over the top of that, kind of around the pump body. It's not on there fully, but just trying to make sure that that doesn't come flying out of there on me and maybe have some control over how I release it. That's the plan anyways. We'll see how that works out. I could very well be foiled. Lots of stuff in the way here. Find the hole. There it is. Well, I didn't have any problem tapping this before, but now it seems like I will. Was I on the other side of this hose? Yeah, I was on the other side of that hose. Oh, that's coming right out. Okay. I wonder if that was enough. Maybe it wasn't. Yep, that's it. Oh shit, see, that thing is busted in half. Great. So the rest of that's probably sitting in there on top of it then. So did the piston come up? No, it didn't. It's still sitting down in there. What's going on here? That pin's still in there. Maybe another little whack here, I guess. I don't even need to whack it, I can just push on it. That's going clean in there. Okay, what to think about here? Did it snap off in here? Oh yeah, let's see, it's still it's just protruding over here. It just snapped off right as I pulled it on it a little bit. So do I try and whack it from this side or the other side? On it. Yeah, okay, it's coming out. It's really loose now. Okay, what's going on here? Leave that drift in there for a second. Grab a hold of the other end of it with these channel locks. See if I can pull that out of there. There's the other half of it. So nothing went flying, huh? I guess I got this in here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out. I can feel it kind of pushing on it, but not super hard. Stay in there. Okay, that just clunked up against the C-clamp when I did that. So I do not want to lose the order of anything coming out of here. This is very critical because I don't have much to refer to here except a frickin' old picture out of a book. I don't even have the book. This is pushing hard on it. I'm backing the C-clamp off and the guts of it are starting to come out the top. It's not pushing hard or anything, but the C-clamp's about ready to fall off. Okay, I can overcome it. How far is it going to come out of the hole? Looks like there's a piston there. Some other stuff. Let's see if I can get my finger on it. Oh, it's trying to get cockeyed on me. I need to get this clamp out of the way here. Okay, so that part must just set in there. Guess I need to get a picture of this or something. That's just gonna sit there. So this part just sets on top of that, evidently. There's a little bit of crud in it that I didn't get out, and there's that O-ring on the side of it there. It's shot. I'm gonna see if I can find an O-ring like that in my stash. It's kind of square, so I might not be able to. That's it for the moment. All right, so I'm in the bus studying the manual here. Supplement on this power steering. Just to see if I could get a part number or something for that O-ring. That's it. Number 5 there. This is a section view of, you know, the pin, that little plunger that I took out with the O-ring in it. What do they call that? Number 6, relief valve plug. So, yeah. Well, I'm going to just do some measurement on it, and some Google, and see if I can find that thing. Well, yeah, and the cross section of this thing is 0.11. You know, and this didn't fill this groove fully. So it might not even have been the right one in there to begin with. is it was kind of sitting in there. See the gap? So yeah, it sucks that I broke it. So yeah, the OD on this is about 0.7. Yeah, depending on how hard you squish it. And the ID is, 0.542. So that's the combination I'm looking for. Kind of hard to come up with that size. I can find the ID, but not the cross section that I need. I can go with one of those fancy new X-shaped ones, or something else. Just got to seal up. I got to do some more looking, maybe make some phone calls, but if anybody knows anything about O-rings or where I can get one of these that'll fit this Shepherd power steering unit, let me know. Thanks.